Now this should be pretty fun building a fire in. Let the games begin. Dub C here, we're back with another Survival Saturday. Figured it would be perfect weather for some tarp camping, so I want to get out here and test my skills, build a fire, and see if I can build like a firewall to protect the fire from the rain. But while I'm out here, I always like to review some gear and eat some food. So the gear I'm going to be reviewing, you can see I got a rain suit on. This is actually made from Frogg Toggs. It's an ultralight rain suit, men's. Let's see how well it holds up out here, see if it keeps me dry. So keep on details throughout the night on that. I'm planning on getting rain for a couple more hours, if not, I think it was like 5 to 6. All right, for fire, I'm going to try the Atomic Bear Fire Wand. Really interesting concept. Use like jute twine through a wire. You should be able to light it, and then you pull it back to either extinguish it, and then really easy to light. So really want to try that out, especially in the rain. For the food, I'll be eating Tactical Ration bag. This is a tactical food pack. This is actually a prototype. Now, this was sent to Black Dog Bob from Gundog, and this couple, I believe it was a year ago, almost 2 now. And this, at the stage of this, it was a prototype. So it's a 24-hour ration. I'm going to be using that to sustain me while I'm out here. I'm really excited to explore it. I think it's in production now, so that's really cool. So you can kind of see what the prototype looked like to what the actual ration looks like now. And then Gundog also did a review on this, so I'll be linking that down below. And the final product is going to be some winter gloves. Now the winter gloves, I know it's kind of weird being it's raining out, but it's going to get cold, and it actually is pretty cold right now. This might turn to snow. It's approximately 40 degrees right now. It's supposed to dip probably 20s tonight. Now if it does turn to snow, great, no big deal. I'll have the gloves, but the biggest reason I have these out here is I'm trying to test if they're waterproof. I do not want to take these out on a cold day in the snow and get them wet, because as soon as you get wet in the cold, you're done. So I want to test those out. But I got to get some shelter built. So I'm going to go and get a tarp up, and we'll go from there. Okay, I got a base cleared down. I'm going to go ahead and put up the tarp. Okay, so as soon as I got the tarp up, the rain slowed down, if not stopped, but it's okay. I'm ready for more rain, just in case. Now I can establish my base camp. I got another tarp that I'll be using as a ground cover, and then I want to build the fire right up front, probably do a long fire, and I want to build a firewall on the other side of that, kind of angled, so it'll protect it from the rain. Okay, I have my base camp established. I got my tarp up, ground cover down, got all my gear here. It stopped raining, so I took off the rain suit. I got it air drying right now just in case it starts again. But it's time to bust this ration pack open and get some lunch. So let's see what we got. All right, we have the tactical ration bag, my tactical food pack. It's also the tactical heater bag. You can use it 10 times. It goes up to 100 degrees. It's flameless. It's ready to use, and then ready in 20 minutes and easy to use. Now you get the FRH, you can use this as your heater, and it's freeze-dried main, so I'll be showing that off. Now this is the prototype. I believe they're actually selling these now, so it'll be interesting to see what the prototype has compared to the actual product. Special thanks to Black Dog Bob for letting me check this out. And let's bust open and see what we got. The first thing, we got a main veggie wok and noodles, and it's pretty substantial. Pretty big freeze-dried main. So it's got freeze-dried with high energy on it. Ooh, that looks nice. So this is breakfast. Mediterranean breakfast shoshanka, not shakshuka. Hopefully I pronounced that right, but again, freeze-dried meal with high energy. Looks like we got a Leroy hot chocolate. And then another main. This is rice and veggies. Pretty stacked up. I like the little, just add water, less than 10 minutes, real taste, 100% natural. Alright, so we got some 3 pretty substantial mains. Now we have some snaps. Eat 'em cheese crunch, sample only, so that's pretty cool. It says it's best before 12/30/2019. It's a little past its expiration date, but we'll still try them out. Comes with 2 coffees. We got a Nescafe Strong 3-in-1, and we have a Nescafe 2-in-1 coffee and creamer. Now this is cool. This is the Tactical Food Pack drinking cup. So it actually comes with a cup. You can drink your coffees or whatever you want out of those. Now we have a Tactical Food Pack core shake with mango and yogurt. And it's funny, it's got like the test on there. And I always like these down here. Add the water, you shake it, drink from the pack, enjoy. Now this is not something you see in Ration all the time. You do see the hand wipes and the moist wipes, but this is the Tactical Food Pack outdoor shower. So body wash with only 10 milliliters of water. That is really interesting. So, I mean, got pretty muddy out here, so definitely could use that to wash my hands. We got a Royal Army chocolate with caffeine of guarana. Well, that's really interesting. Dark chocolate bar. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's a bread product, but definitely looks pretty cool. I'm excited to try that out. Comes with 10 water purification tablets. And this thing's pretty loaded. Definitely would sustain you. And we got 2 protein bars. So we have the first protein bar is a chocolate mud cake, and the next one is a banana caramel. Now you see the bag actually comes with 3 heaters, and then we will place the water inside the mains, and we'll place the heater in there, and we'll actually cook up the mains like that. Alright, for lunch I'm going to have the core shake with mango and yogurt. We got a drinking cup that I'll be throwing the coffee in, and I'm actually going to warm the water up with the main. We got the snaps, like a cheese crunch. We got a chocolate mud cake protein bar, and then the main will be veggie wok and noodles. Alright, we're going to go and bust this open, see what we got. And here we have instructions. Basically take the oxygen tab out, throw 300 milliliters in there, stir it up in 8 minutes. See what it looks like inside. Next time I'm just going to add the water, cold water in, and then throw the FRH in there and see what we got. So everything looks good. We got the oxygen tab out. Definitely some interesting in there. We're going to add the water, just a cold water. And then I'm going to add the water to the cup, and I'll set them right next to each other. Alright, I've added the water to the drinking cup. Now I'm going to add the main. I'm going to take the air out of this pouch real quick. I got the main and the water in there. I placed the water to the fill line. Now I'm going to add the heating element and see if it takes off. This is a really awesome concept, and you can reuse the bag 10 times for the instructions. So I'm going to take the FRH. I just took it out of the pouch, and I'm kind of saturating it in the water. And I should be able to seal it up and let the magic happen. Alright, now I have the heating element in there. It's got the little steam vent working good. Let's go ahead and check these snaps. 100% cheese crunch. If I'm not mistaken, these are just like a freeze-dried cheese. Go ahead and try a handful. I'm familiar with the texture and taste. Not of this particular cheese, but being on keto, there's a lot of snacks out there nowadays that actually have like a cheese crunch, and they're a substitute for like chips and stuff. It tastes just like that. It tastes like a sharp cheddar. Really nice and salty. It's just like a potato chip, but kind of like a healthy alternative, so that's pretty cool. Next we have our So Much Taste high protein bar. So we got just your normal looking bar, kind of waxy looking. Let's go ahead and give it a try. It's actually one of the better protein bars I've had. It's a chocolate mud cake. It tastes just like that. The chocolate on the outside is real nice.
It looks waxy, but it melts pretty good. And this actually has a texture or taste of like a chocolate cake with the chocolate chips. So a really good snack. Now we can mix up our core shake. We'll go and open it up, take a look what's inside. Looks pretty good. Has a nice mango smell. Add 200 milliliters of water. Shake it up. See what we get. Alright, shake's all ready to try out. Actually, it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Okay, so this is really good. This is a core shake, the mango and yogurt. So it basically is only mango and yogurt. It's not no artificial sweeteners thrown in. It's got a nice yogurt flavor and mango. It's kind of basic, but it's what you get with more of a natural product. Let's see if our other products are ready to try out. Looks like they're nice and hot. Okay, the coffee water's pretty warm. It's not as hot as I'd like it, but not bad for FRH type heater. I'm just going to use the 2-in-1 coffee with creamer. Let it right to the bag, and then close it and give it a shake. Okay, there's our coffee with creamer. Let's go ahead and test it out. Yep, Nescafe, nice and bold. That creamer kind of dulls it down a little bit. But I take that back. The heat is actually pretty nice. The coffee is actually pretty warm, and it did pretty well. Now let's try to test out the main. That's also still pretty warm, and it reconstituted pretty good. And this is an interesting main I have not seen before. They've got the noodles, black olives, that green bean. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, this is great. Very natural flavor. It tastes like a noodle stir fry. I just put some vegetables, some black olives. Really nice basic flavor, but not overwhelming. The sodium content's not that bad, and it's got a nice like open pouch where you can just eat it out real easily. But I do want to try a little Meg Bite with it, with these little crunches, a little cheese crunch. You see, I can enhance the flavor a little bit more. Oh yeah. Now, although the main is great by itself, adding the Snaps cheese crunches to it only enhanced the flavor and gave it that crunch that, you know, sometimes the freeze-dried mains need. Overall, great lunch. Now I'm going to go ahead and start a fire with this Atomic Bear Fire Wand. Okay, since the ground is really saturated with water, it's really wet, I went and found some deadfall and I split it. I cut it up with the Silky XL 240, and then I split it with the Gerber hatchet just to get the inside exposed so I have a nice dry platform to start my fire. I am trying the Wells Lamont gloves because I want to get used to processing wood for when I'm in the wintertime. I want to be able to process wood in these things because they are kind of bulky and they are snug. So if you do decide to get some, or if you're looking at them, I might want to consider a higher, like I typically am an extra large, I kind of want to go to a 2X for these ones. So, but I'm going to continue to process some wood and get some kindling, and we'll go ahead and get this going. Okay, so this is the fire wand from Atomic Bear. It basically comes zip tied here. You have extra reloads of the, it looks like jute twine, and the concept is basically you have this metal tube and you start the fire at the very tip, and then when you're done you pull it through to extinguish it. So it's like a kind of get all your fibers nice and loose, and then put a spark to it, and then when you're done, boom, it's out. So it's an interesting concept. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. I don't know if this is a ferricium rod or not, but we'll try that. So this is not a ferricium rod. I've seen some that are like that. You actually can strike this to create the flame. So you're going to have to have your own. So let's try to ignite this. I got some wood processed. I made some feathers with the SE6 knife to throw on top. I'm using a little bit of birch. So it looks like you have to have your own ferricium rod to ignite this, which is kind of interesting. It's adding a step, but we'll see how well it works to see if it's worth keeping around. Alright, so we have the fire wand going. Basically ignite our tinder, and like I said, it's pretty wet. Fire wand's going good, and if it does get low, you can actually just push more through. So I do like that. This stuff is just real wet. So it's got good burn time. And then you see, I just pull it through to kind of kill it. Now I gotta get some of my feathers on here. See if I can ignite. Alright, so we got a decent fire going, but while I understand the concept of fire wand, I think it's just an unneeded additional step. I could strike a ferro rod onto, you know, I guess if you didn't have any tinder, you could kind of use this as your tinder. But, I mean, it feels like an additional step to me. But I'll keep playing with it a little bit. And I know it does take a little bit longer to get, you know, a wet fire going versus, you know, coming out here to a dry fire. Alright, so I got a nice fire going. Now I'm going to build my first firewall. I didn't think the rain was going to come back, but it just started raining. So I'll start with a traditional firewall. I got one post here, and I'll show building that. Then if it starts getting to where it's covered, like hurting my fire, the rain, then I'll maybe make a ramp over the fire to protect it as well. Okay, so change of plans. The rain started coming on, and I'm just going to go ahead and build a fire protection wall. So it's a firewall on a ramp. So I got a Y branch right there, Y branch right there. I run 2 logs up, and then I'm going to run like a log wall right here. That way I'll protect the fire and reflect the heat. Okay, so I got the firewall done. It's protecting the fire, it's reflecting the heat. This is the first one I've ever done before, so it's not the prettiest, but it's doing the job good. Now, next thing I want to do is I'm going to take some like brush and just cover up the gaps between the logs, so any rain coming through will hit the brush instead and kind of dissipate before it hits the fire. And you're not going to want to build a crazy bonfire for obvious reasons. You're going to catch your protection on fire. So the idea is just to have a nice little fire in there, and because of the reflection, it kind of intensifies the heat. The firewall is working great, keeping my fire nice and dry and keeping me warm. I'm probably going to close off some of the gaps on the sides, but right now I just got my tripod holding my headlamp, and it's about dinner time. So now that I got a fire, I can warm up my dinner on the fire. Stay warm and get dry. I should have put the rain suit legs back on, but I think these pants will dry pretty quick next to the fire. Okay, it's dinner time for the tactical ration bag. So dinner, I'm going to have the rice and veggies main. And then I have some of the Royal Army chocolate. Probably have some of this bread on the side with the rice and veggies. I have some of the cheese crunches from lunch left over. And then I'm going to have this hot chocolate. The Royal hot chocolate. So water's warming up. I'll go ahead and check on that on the fire. Our water's boiling really good. Cannot emphasize enough how awesome this firewall is. It's keeping the fire dry and reflecting all that heat right back towards me. All right, first thing we'll do is open up this rice and veggies. Wow, that's different. I did not expect that. So I got the action tab out, but it's got like beans, corn, maybe carrots. Flavoring. So it says 300 milliliters and stir. Let's go ahead and dump that hot water in there. Now the FRH method was great, but there's nothing quite going to be as good as getting that hot water off the fire. Now I can just seal it up. It says you can stir it, but if these ones are big enough, you can actually close them up and shake them. So with the remaining hot water, I'm going to make the hot cocoa. It's about 180 milliliters. Never had this hot cocoa before at Le Royale, so I'm excited to try it out. Rain's calming down a little bit, but it is starting to chill off. It dropped about 10 degrees. First thing I want to open is this bread. I think it's a bread. We'll just take a piece off and Let's see what it's all about. Oh, it's 2 pieces, kind of stuck together. Yeah, it's a really nice grain heavy bread, I believe. It's really dry. I'm going to go ahead and wash it down with this hot cocoa. Ooh, that hot cocoa is nice, especially since I'm waterlogged and cold. That is really rich but light chocolate, not overly sweet. This bread reminds me from the rye, about the rye from the Lathian Ration. It's just like on par with that. Nice. It's actually pretty moist for being in the container. I've heard good things about this chocolate bar, so I want to bust this open real quick. See if it's seen any heat or if it's in good condition. Well, it's bloomed a little bit. A lot of it. So it's got some bloomage to it, but it's okay. And snap a couple pieces off real quick. Try it out. It says it's got caffeine in it. Oh yeah, that's probably one of my favorite chocolates out of any ration. It actually has dark chocolate, I don't know if you can read it, with cornflakes in Garwana. But it's dark chocolate, so I like that. And it has like a nice crunchy, like with the cornflakes in it. It goes really well together. Now it's time to bust that main out. Looks like I added a perfect amount of water. And again, the portion's just massive. Go ahead and take a big bite of this. Like I said, it's got the corn, looks like carrots, beans, and rice. Alright, this is pretty interesting. It reminds me of like a stuffing, because it's just the rice and vegetables. But the same thing with the seasoning is on par like stuffing seasoning with a little bit of spice to it. So overall not bad, but I would definitely like some chicken in there or something. But it would be great vegetarian made. I do want to try some of that on one of these slices of this grain bread. And if I had some hot sauce, I should have brought some, but I'll try that. I bet this would be pretty good. Well, that is pretty good. This actually overwhelms the main and overpowers the flavor. So I'll probably just eat the main by itself overall. But not a bad dinner. I did think lunch was pretty good, and I'm excited to try breakfast. But I got to go and finish this up and close up some of the sides on this firewall. Alright, so a couple updates on the firewall. So a couple things. I got the sides. Put some shrubs and brush on the sides. On both sides, actually. Let me swing over to the other side. So you see, got cover on both sides. It's closed it up. All the heat's directly coming towards me now. Got a nice fire inside. I'm making it a little bit longer. Now another cool thing is I'm actually setting the wood, then burning next, in there to keep dry. Because like I said, it's still raining a little bit, but most of the wood is pretty much soaked. So by putting it by fire, you can see the moisture evaporating off it from the heat. So when it dries out, I just throw another log on the fire. Now that the firewall's all set up, I got firewood to burn and drying out. Now it's time to set up my bed. So I'll just be throwing up a air mattress. I got my backpack and probably use an emergency blanket. That should be good for tonight. Lyman sleeping pad. I wanted to try this on some tarp trips. So I brought this out here. It's pretty comfortable, but main goal is just to keep it so I don't get cold from the ground. And then I got the emergency blanket that I'm just going to be using to reflect the fire heat back onto me. So when I go to lay down in here, I'll just be kind of open to the fire, but reflecting all the heat. And I already tried it out. It's pretty comfortable. Alright, just a quick gear update. These frog toggs, this ultralight is not for the bush at all. Probably most of you guys know this, but look at the sleeves. I'm like a bull in a china shop in this thing. Just holes everywhere. Now it is keeping me dry for the most part. It did keep me dry. But, I mean, just run through the bush. This thing is going to be like confetti when I'm done. I got holes in the legs. I got holes by the feet. I mean, it is crazy. So, I'm going to need some suggestions on better rain gear. So if anybody's got any better rain gear ideas, definitely put them in comments down below. I'm not going to say this is a bad rain suit, but it's not intended for this at all. Alright, as far as a gear check on the gloves, the Wells Lamont gloves are holding up just fine. The hands stayed completely dry when processing the wet wood. They're soaking wet on the outside, but they are completely dry on the inside. So they're definitely waterproof, and they definitely keep your hands warm. It's about 32 degrees right now, and these are working great. I was hoping they would hold up to the processed wood, but they seem really tough on the inside, like a tactical glove almost, but a winter glove, and that's what I'm looking for when I do my weather camping trips. All right, it's about bedtime. I got my emergency blanket, and it's really nice because, like I said, the heat's coming in from the fire right here and reflecting inside the blanket, and I'm actually quite warm. And then backpack's my pillow. Actually really comfortable. Good news about the rain is you know, hitting the tarp, it'll definitely help me sleep. As long as I keep a nice hot fire going, it should be all good. So I guess it's lights out. Oh yeah, that rain's going to definitely help me sleep. I like that sound. Yep, our rain turned to snow. Fire wall worked out great. And it's morning time. Stoking the fire, getting ready for breakfast. So it was pretty interesting when it changed from rain to snow. But I felt relieved in a way, because when it started getting colder, I felt like the fire would start to dry me out. Like the moisture was freezing, I guess, but I was able to keep warm by the fire. This firewall, fire's life. As long as you keep the fire going, I could stay warm, and there's just so much heat coming from this firewall. I don't know. The emergency blanket's annoying, but it's time for breakfast. All right, first thing I want to try is the Tactical Food Pack Outdoor Shower. Because I've never seen one of these, but my hands are definitely dirty. So I'm just going to open up the top. And I have a little bit of water warmed up. It's got like a little sponge in there. So we'll add the water. Just 100 milliliters. I don't know if you're supposed to shake it or squeeze it. Yeah, squeeze the pouch 2 or 3 times. Kind of saturate the cleaning agent. Once we have that done, we can bring it out. It's like a foam pad. Oh, wow. Doesn't really have a smell to it, but it's definitely a large enough pad where you can clean your, oh wow, it actually turns into 2. So all these are, they have like a little foaming agent on them, but you don't have to rinse your hands after you're done. They foam up pretty good. And then they does come with 2, so you can wash your hands thoroughly or body, but you could definitely clean it pretty good. It's got a nice texture to it, so it's I would say it's abrasive, but not overly abrasive, to get all your hands or body cleaned up. Now that I'm all cleaned up, I got a Nescafe 3-in-1. It's supposed to be strong. We got the high protein bar, banana caramel. We have the breakfast, Mediterranean breakfast. I think it's shakshuka. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But I got the water warming up on the fire, and then we can add the hot water for our coffee and our main. Now I don't know if this can be made cold, but I did not check that. But since it's a little bit colder out, like sometimes I like these kind of mains colder, like muesli or oatmeal. Okay, the water's ready, so we'll go ahead and bust this one open. See what it looks like. All right. So I don't know if that's a sweet or a savory main. Looks like a savory main. Looks like chickpeas, some rice. Got the action tab out. We'll add the water. It says 300 milliliters. There we go. We can add our coffee. Oops. Making a mess. It's a 3-in-1. Alright, next thing is the high protein bar. Banana caramel. If it's anything like the chocolate one, it'll be pretty good. But again, it's got the waxy chocolate, kind of like a shell. Let's go ahead and try it out. Oh, this protein bar is great. I said most of the protein bars I've had have like a chemical taste to them. These do not. These actually taste like the flavors and not much aftertaste. Like I'm getting a strong banana flavor. Although it'll be artificial, it's not that bad. And then the caramel flavor is very light, which I'm okay with. I'm going to go ahead and try the coffee 3-in-1. Well, that's some of the best 3-in-1 I've had. And it's extremely bold. It does say specifically 3-in-1 Nescafe strong at the bottom. I'll be definitely looking for some more of that. It's very enjoyable. I said very bold and not overpowered by the sweetener or the cream. Still have that strong coffee flavor, which I enjoy, and it's not diluted, so that's great. It's time to try the main out. So, reconstituted pretty good. Let's say it's definitely a savory main. Got some red peppers, some rice. Never tried this before, so I'm really excited to try it out. Alright, now this is pretty good. I wasn't sure what to expect for a savory main, but it's very reminiscent of skillet. By the ingredients, it says it has liquid egg wash, chickpeas, rice. Very, very reminiscent to me like a breakfast skillet. And so it works perfectly for breakfast. Okay, that was a pretty awesome breakfast. But I'm going to go and finish this up and we'll talk more in final thoughts. Okay, so final thoughts on the overnight, the gear and the food. The overnight was awesome. I got to try a new setup, got to build a firewall. Never built a firewall before, and I was able to build it where it could protect the fire from rain. Got to, test my skills in some of the rain, and I actually prefer the cold after dealing with that. Like I say, I was relieved about midway through the night when it started getting cold, where the rain was kind of freezing, or however, and I could actually just feel like I was actually getting dry. And as long as I kept the fire hot, I stayed warm just with the emergency blanket. The lineman pad worked great. Like I said, it was a great setup. Now, for the food, we got a tactical ration bag. This thing was awesome. Really, you could tell a lot of thought was put into it. It was just a prototype. I'm more excited to see what the real product holds now. And the real product, I think, is out. EatsTreats&MREs, another ration reviewer, actually has one of these. So I'm excited to see what they get in it. And now I would love to review actual product now that I've had the, just a prototype. But overall, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you could tell they're very well thought out. They're very sustainable, very clean energy. I was able to work out here and not feel any distress. Just felt great, Very high performance meal. Wells Lamont gloves. These things are awesome. Ryan Outdoors actually suggested I get a pair, and I want to thank them for that because they're definitely waterproof. In the rain, I was, just handling wet wood, handling wet, everything just wet. And my hands stayed warm and they stayed dry. And that's huge out here. And then now it's cold out. I just throw them on and I still, stay warm. And I can handle snow and not get wet. So definitely going to be sticking with these as far as the winter camping. Now, frog tog. Can't fault frog togs, but this gear was not meant for the bush. Okay, now don't get me wrong, it worked. Because I came out here, and if I would have got soaking wet and then would turn to snow, I would have been in trouble. Because I wouldn't have been able to dry out. It did keep me dry, but I started getting quite a few tears all throughout just walking through the bush, but both sleeves are shredded. My pants are shredded, the back. So, as far as a emergency setup for me, these would work. I could have them and they would save me for a day. But longevity, I'm going to have to throw all this stuff away. So, like I said in the comments, somebody shoot me some good ideas as far as like good rain gear for out here. Something that's durable, something that has the strength to walk through like rough brush to where it's not going to rip apart. So, like I said, it's not Frog Talk's fault. I definitely don't think they were designed for this, but it did keep me dry enough where I was fine for the night. And then we have the Atomic Bear Fire Wand. So I'm definitely going to need more testing on this with a fire wand to really give an accurate thought. But as of right now, like I said, I'm not feeling it. But a couple more uses, trying out different ways, maybe enlighten me on the true usage of it. But overall, it was a fantastic overnight, fantastic weekend. I learned a lot, and I'm going to continue coming out here, having fun, and continue to learn. Like I said, building the firewall for the first time, that's awesome. I mean, it really, really worked out. Was it perfect? Probably not. But you find that practice makes perfect. So that's why I'm out here, having fun, practicing my skills. That's all I got now. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.